today's topic is equivalent circuit and frequency limitations. Okay, so let us talk about this topic, equivalent circuit. Can anybody tell me why we need equivalent circuit? Okay, so we have studied the JFET, basic JFET operation, and including the symbol representations and other things. Now we are in a position to find out an equivalent circuit and the frequency limitation. Okay, because these transistors are subjected to different AC signal. Okay, so different frequency of AC signal, and we'll see what frequency of AC signal this JFET can accept. What is the maximum frequency JFET can take as an input and do its operation? It may be amplification, it may be the switching operations, those things we will see here. Every transistor has its own frequency limit. So, frequency limit in the sense they behave like a filter. Okay. So, we will see this JFET till what frequency this can pass efficiently without any attenuation in the signal strength, and that we will discuss in today's class. Okay. Look at this equivalent circuit. Why we need equivalent circuit? So, the reason is given here. In order to analyze a transistor circuit, so when you study a circuits based on transistor, in this current course electronic device, you may not study too many electronic circuits or transistor based circuits, but in next semester we have a subject called analog circuits. That's fully we deal with different sort of circuits. There the device understanding plays an important role. So, to understand complete circuit, you need to know how BJT performs or JFET works. So, the principle of operation plays a very important role. So, here in order to understand or analyze, study the transistor based circuit, one needs to have a mathematical model. So, what do we mean by mathematical model? A model which is constructed. Model means it is an alternative circuit representation, alternate device representation. So, that is called as a model, and it is based on mathematics. That is why this model is called a mathematical model. So, we are going to develop a mathematical model for a transistor, which becomes easy for us to analyze circuits which are built upon the transistor. When we say transistor, it is both BJT and FET. It is applicable for both. Okay. Though we are studying here the FET, and this models will help us even to understand BJT also. You remember that earlier we have covered a coupled diode model. It is one such model predicted for BJT, and it explains you the working principle of BJT. And apart from coupled diode model, there are a variety of models exist in the literature, but the famous model is going to be the coupled diode model. There are even a high frequency model, low frequency model, small signal model, large signal model. There is a variety of classifications we have with reference to model. I hope you understood what do we mean by model. So, model means it is an alternate representation of a device. Alternate representation of a device. In place of a transistor, you are representing with other circuit elements. That's called as a model. This helps us to understand the device and circuit associated with that device very well. That's why we go for a mathematical model, also called an equivalent circuit of the transistor. So, many times we develop the equivalent circuit for BJT, okay, and the JFET. Okay. So, this is a JFET representation. Okay, sorry, the JFET is we have to show with arrow mark at the gate terminal. So, this is a JFET representation. Okay. So, this is a gate, drain, source, base, emitter, collector. Okay. So, we have different symbols for BJT, and this is a BJT symbolic representation. And and this is going to be the JFET symbol representation. Now we are going to find out an equivalent for this JFET. What is the equivalent of this? Okay, equivalent circuit for JFET. So that helps us to understand, what exactly how exactly JFET works. One of the most useful model is the small signal equivalent circuit model. There are variety of models, small signal model and large signal model. Right now we discuss only about a small signal equivalent circuit model. This model can be used in applications like where we deal with small signals. Example is amplifier circuit. The best example for small signal circuit is amplifier circuit. You might have seen amplifier circuit or even constructed and seen the results of amplifier circuit. The amplifier circuit, we apply very weak signal, small signal at the input. Typical amplifier input is going to be the voltage of millivolt or even microvolts. Okay, it is in voltage I have shown here. So this is these kind of signals are called as small signals. The signal strength itself is, or signal level itself is very, very small. Okay, because this for amplifier circuits, when we apply these sort of signals, the element, fundamental device within this is going to be the FET or BJT that will amplify linearly to produce a large signal at the output. Okay, so the small signal equivalent circuit, we will develop only equivalent circuit for with a small signal, because large signals will assume different things, different elements within the model. But here let us try to develop a model for the small signal equivalent circuit that is mainly used in amplifier circuits. This equivalent circuit will introduce frequency effects. You will see once we develop equivalent circuit for the small signal equivalent circuit for the amplifier, we will introduce the frequency effects in that small signal model, and that helps us to understand the transistor or functioning of a device very well. The equivalent circuit consists of the elements like capacitors. The moment we introduce capacitor into the equivalent circuit, we know that this is a frequency sensitive element. Okay, Xc, the reactance, capacitive reactance. What is the formula for Xc? Xc formula, anybody remember? Capacitive reactance formula.
1 by omega c.
1 by what? Omega c. Is it right? Yes, of course. So this omega is equal to what here? Omega is angular frequency, right? So what is the equivalent of omega? It is 2 pi f. Now observe this here. This is the capacitive reactance, and this is capacitive reactance is sensitive. The reactance of the capacitance is sensitive to the frequency. What happens to lower frequency when the frequency is less, or let us say 0? What will happen to the Xc? And frequency is going to be very high. What will happen to Xc? Frequency for what kind of signals frequency is 0? Just guess. It's for DC signals, right? When we have a DC signal, the frequency of the DC signal is going to be 0. But for AC signal, the frequency varies. Let's assume that a AC signal has got very high frequency. What will be the capacitive reactance? I am just expanding to you how capacitor behaves for AC and DC. For DC, since frequency is going to be 0, the reactance, capacitive reactance is going to be infinity, right? What do you mean by infinity? X is equal to infinity. How does capacitor behave? The reactance is infinity. We don't call resistance here, we call reactance, capacitive reactance, because it is an element okay, sensitive for both AC and DC. That means capacitor acts like a open circuit for DC. If you have a capacitor with us, you can represent that capacitance with the open circuit for DC. Let's say I have a parallel plate capacitor, and if you apply a DC signal across this, what is its behavior? It acts like a open circuit because Xc is infinity. Same capacitor, when we apply AC signal of some medium range, let us say, or large frequency, look at the reactance. For high frequency, Xc becomes almost 0. Okay, it is 0. Capacitive reactance is 0. That means this behaves like a short circuit. Okay, this is for DC and this is for AC. Now, what is the conclusion from this? Capacitor passes AC signal and blocks DC signal. Okay, so DC signal means a signal with frequency as 0. Okay, the reason why I have taken this is because you need to know here. Okay, because our equivalent circuit for JFET consists of both the elements like capacitor and a resistor. Resistor is not sensitive for the frequency. It's a linear element. If you see voltage versus current characteristics, it's a 45-degree graph, you get it. Okay, with reference to V and I, it is linear. Whereas capacitor, it's not linear, it's non-linear. Okay, it behaves for different frequency in different way. Okay, now let us see other things here. So in equivalent circuit, you will come across capacitor and resistors. You need to know how capacitor behaves for AC and DC, and equivalently the resistor also. The various physical factors in the JFET affecting the frequency limitations are considered here. We will see in a short while the various factors which are responsible for affecting the frequency of the JFET we are going to study here. And we are going to even define what is called as a figure of merit. Okay, figure of merit is nothing but the cutoff frequency of the JFET, transistor cutoff frequency. As I told you, this device cannot pass all frequencies here. Okay, if you apply an AC signal between gate and source here for the JFET, you will not get all frequencies here at the output between the drain and source. You will get to know that for what frequency this JFET passes from input side to output without any attenuation or loss in signal strength. Okay, most of the device, they behave like, they pass, frequency up to certain level, and beyond that they try to block. Okay, we will see that, okay, in what way the JFET behaves. We will estimate even the expression for the cutoff frequency also. Cutoff frequency means when the frequency, applied frequency of AC signal, if it is, suppose if I call cutoff frequency as Fc, when input signal frequency F, if it is less than or equal to Fc, signal can be passed output without any attenuation. Okay, and if the frequency greater than Fc is blocked, there is no equality here. Here there is no equal. For frequency F greater than Fc, F is input frequency. If it is greater than the cutoff frequency, what kind of filter it is? Anybody, any idea? For F less than Fc, signals are passed without any attenuation. For F greater than Fc, signals are blocked. These type of filters are called as low pass filter. Okay, now we will see whether this JFET will act like a low pass filter or high pass filter short while. High pass filter is just opposite of this. For signals less than Fc, the signals will be blocked, and greater than Fc, signals will be passed. Such kind of filters are called high pass filters. Every device, either it will be a low pass filter or high pass filter, or band pass and band elimination also. So that aspect we will see here. Now let us see the small signal equivalent circuit. Remember that what we are trying to discuss is here is small signal equivalent circuit. Already defined what do we mean by small signal equivalent circuit. So we are not studying here large signal equivalent circuit, that you will be studying in higher semester. So the small signal equivalent circuit. Okay, the signal is of the range microvolt or millivolt. That's a small signal, and we are developing equivalent circuit for the BJT. not BJT, it is JFET. The cross section of an N-channel PN JFET is as shown in figure 13.18, including source and drain series resistances. The substrate may be semi-insulating gallium arsenide, or it may be the P plus type substrate. Look at this structure. So I am talking with reference to this cross section of a JFET. Okay, it is N-channel JFET here, and you can see the cross sectional view here. There is a source terminal here. There is a gate, there is a drain terminal. Along with that, there is one more terminal which most of the times we will suppress this terminal. This is called a substrate. Substrate. What do we mean by substrate? Because all of a sudden we started here with explaining you the substrate. So far we haven't come across this substrate. For any device manufacturing, you remember in BJT also we told about the a background material. While explaining to you the BJT, we discussed about background material to make the P plus or PNP transistor. If you remember, I would like to recall, draw your attention to this. I'm sorry, this pen is little bit, I don't know why it is. Okay, I would like to draw your attention for the profile what we have shown. This is a background material. This is a doping profile. We have discussed this in BJT. Okay, and you can see that other type of profile what we have shown is to make base region. We have showed this doping profile. Another layer what we have shown is another region is this. Okay, this kind of doping profile we have shown. Okay, so we have shown different sort of doping material last class. Just doping profile. This is for BJT doping profile. Okay, so this background material we have taken as the P type. This is P type, and this green color what we have shown is N type, and this is P plus. So the type of transistor is P plus NP. Okay, so this is P plus NP. Okay, this region you should see here, P plus NP. Okay, so here the background material is P. The wafer will be of the P type or N type. On top of that we will diffuse with N type semiconductor material, and again P plus P type semiconductor material. That forms a transistor. Likewise here also you can see we have a substrate here. We will start with either substrate with N type or P type. In this example we have taken here P plus substrate here. That's what it is told in the introduction part. You can see that's a type P plus type of substrate. So in the P plus type of substrate, you can see that there is a N channel which is diffused here on top of this. Okay, till this gray level what you are seeing here, gray region, till this it is going to be the P type substrate, P plus type substrate here. This acts like a foundation material. It is like, see, the transistor construction is similar to the house construction. We lay the foundation first. In our case the foundation is substrate. If foundation is strong, you can build other layers. Okay, we don't use similar layers. Always layers will be of opposite in nature. You can see at the channel here we started with P plus type of substrate. So this is the substrate. On top of that you are seeing an active N channel here which is of N type here. So this is an N type. N type, this is acting like a channel. And look at another sides here. Okay, so channel is of N type here, and look at this gate is of the P plus type, and here we have again P plus P type, the source and drain regions here. So like that you can make different materials, different regions you can make it to have a complete transistor. So this what you are seeing here is a cross sectional view of a transistor. Okay, when you make a 3D transistor, when you cut into slice, okay, so the 3D looks something like this. Here also we have shown this kind of symbol is because in an IC there are billions of transistors, adjacent to this you may have transistor, here also you may have transistor. So we have just taken one particular section, and you are seeing a cross sectional view in the 3D view of transistor. In the 3D view, you can imagine just like this. Okay, so this is a 3D representation of a transistor. Okay, so now you can imagine that how the cross section looks like. This one slice we have taken here, that's all. That's a cross section here, and for that we have attached various terminals, you can source, gate and drain. Now for this we are going to develop an equivalent circuit which you are seeing adjacent to this. Okay, there are the resistances we have shown here. You can see that Rs is a resistance between gate and source. Rd is a drain resistance between D and G. You can observe here all resistances are shown in small letters. The reason is when we show resistance with small letters like small r like this, it represents it as an internal to the device. It is an internal. It's internal element. That's the small r. Okay, the resistance shown. When we show the same thing with capital R, it is an external resistance. To make a circuit, to rig up circuit, we use external resistance like this, capital R. Here you observe here all resistances are of lowercase, even subscript also. Subscripts will tell you from where to where that resistance is applicable. For instance, you can see that here this resistance R, small r, it is internal, and G and S is written here. That means it is a resistance between gate and source here. Okay. And question rises here, which is source here, whether this point is source or this point is source. How do you differentiate it? Because here, though we say here RGS is a resistance between gate and source. Okay, right now this is in this we are assuming that this point is going to be the source. This point here. Okay, this point is source. But see, there is a resistance here, Rs. Okay, we will see this whether we want to include this Rs, because here we have two scenarios. One is with Rs, what are the consequences we will come across, and without Rs also we will see. Okay, that's what this topic talks about. We will see the equivalent circuit with and without Rs, and its transconductance expression or gain expression we will see with and without Rs. Okay, now we know what is Rs. Rs is a resistance between this gate and this diffusion resistance between the gate and the source. Okay. Okay, all right. And there is every resistance there is an associated capacitance. You can see here there is a CGS associated with this resistance here. So this is the capacitance, junction capacitance between the gate and source. Likewise, we have RDS and the CDS. There is a resistance between drain and source, capacitance between drain and source, and there is a resistance and capacitance between gate and drain also. Look at this device from all perspective. I would like to draw the symbolic representation of JFET and then show different elements here. So we have a gate here and source, drain here, and I would like to show different elements here. RGS we have seen, RGS and CGS. I'll show capacitances here because drawing too many things it becomes complicated. So this is a capacitance between gate and source, which we called as CGS. There is a CDS also. There is a capacitance between this and this. This is CDS. There is a capacitance between gate and drain also, CGD. Just guess, in the coming class I am going to ask you, among these three capacitance, which one is dominant? Okay. Which causes serious problems among these three capacitances? CGD, CGS, CDS. Just think of this. All these capacitance. You can see same thing here also. There is a CGD, there is a CDS here, there is a CDS here, there is a CGS here, And there's another capacitance which we should not forget it, right? What is that capacitance? This is CS, a capacitance between drain and substrate. Okay, here the fourth terminal we have not shown here. This will be the normally the fourth terminal between the drain and substrate. You will have here a capacitance here. Okay, which becomes difficult here to draw, but that is the capacitance CS. So this is a capacitance between drain and substrate. Substrate is a foundation material. Okay, so this is a substrate what you see. Between drain and substrate you see this capacitance here. And apart from that you see voltage source V G dash S dash. It is internal voltage source between gate and source here. This can be called as S dash. Reason is this is not actual source. Actual source is here. So that's why it is V G dash and S dash. This is the internal AC supply. And there is a current source, dependent current source, whose current value is Gm times V G dash S dash. The current that is flowing here depends on the voltage between gate and source. Okay, and finally you end up with all three terminals here. There is a drain, there is a source, actual source, and gate, which you see here, gate, drain, source. So within that you have seen variety of elements here. In the next class we'll explain you the reasons, why we have added each element here, and I mean the resistance here and capacitance here, the importance of those. And I've also told you that among these three capacitance, which one is dominating capacitance. Just you find out answer for that. We will explain that in the next class. With that I will stop at this point, and if you have any questions, I would like to take offline. Thank you all.